Hi folks, my name is William Treend. I'm a qualified, recertified teacher of transcendental meditation, and I've got the real great honor and pleasure now to introduce a gentleman that I know and have taught TM to, and I think he's one of these people in the world who can make a difference. And he belongs to an organization called Action Coach International. And we've played around with the idea of me being coached by him, and we've now reversed the order of things. He's interviewed me twice, and I've come up with the idea, well, we both have, of actually reversing the procedure to see what comes out in a lateral sort of way. So over to you, Andreas. Tell me all about yourself and what your title is, what Action Coach is, and where you started from.
Okay, so first of all, thanks a lot, Will, for giving me the opportunity to be on your show this time for a change. It's different. So where to start? I am not born here in the UK. I'm a Berliner, born and raised in Berlin, and I came over here about 21 years ago now. I had a career in the corporate world. I used to do a lot of things for United Parcel Service. I used to sell parcels for them, and I used to have an express service center with them. And I also worked for Cable and Wireless over here, selling IT and telecommunication services. And then I ended up selling satellites. And that was an interesting job. But my job was based in EMEA, Europe, Middle East, and Africa. And I was traveling around and spending a lot of time overseas. And I thought, it'd be time is right to have a business in the UK. And I had businesses before. I had about half a dozen businesses in Germany. I had an officers club. I had a bar. I had a renewable business, a renewable energy business. And so when I came over to the UK, I always thought, it would be nice to have a business with a family. So in 2008, at the beginning of the recession, we bought a public house, and I more or less turned it with my wife into a family business where our children worked, my wife and I worked, and we turned it into a great success. Even so, it was a recession and there was a lot of pubs closing in the UK. Our one thrived, and we sold it. We ended up selling it for a multiple of its initial investment. And I thought, it's good time. It's good time to do it. And at the time, I thought, what can I do next? What's the next challenge? What's the next kind of opportunity for us? And I always liked the idea of coaching, because I kind of like to help other businesses succeed. And so my choice came to become a coach. And I thought, can I do it on my own? Does anybody know about Andreas, and what tools would I use to help other businesses thrive and grow? And the answer was, I didn't have enough tools. While I have enough experience, I didn't have the tools that I needed to do it. And so Action Coach is a franchise that was naturally a really great fit, because I have a massive toolbox. I have about 3,500 strategies in there, and they've helped like 700,000 businesses on a global scale. And so I decided to become an action coach and join the franchise, and that was in 2015, so 5 years ago. I joined them, and it's been a really, really interesting journey so far. I absolutely love it and enjoy it.
Great. Well, that's a really comprehensive introduction, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that, your journey, etc. And it may help, perhaps, if I shared my journey, my initial journey, how I became a TM teacher, etc. It's not quite as glamorous as your situation. I wasn't an international traveller. I had a little tiny hair salon in North End in Portsmouth, which is quite a rough area, that my grandmother had bought me, and I accepted the offer, and I paid her back in 2 years, and it all started from there. I was working in London before that, and I used to walk around Eaton Square and different areas of Mayfair, and I saw these beautiful doors and wrought iron over the doors and the copper background, and I looked at all the top salons and how they dressed out. And there was at that time wigs were very popular, and it was a great opportunity to window dress and create the haircuts and styles that I wanted to do and show them in the window, as well as sell the wigs. And so that went on. It was very good. And then I had a relationship with a lady, and it was I was married at the time, but that ended. And then I had a relationship with somebody who it proved to be quite fraught, and because of that, I got interested in going to somewhere where stress and volatility isn't. And that's why I learned transcendental meditation. And then soon after I learned that, I had 3 shops within about 6 months altogether, and 4 shops in all. And so that was the first indication of a breakthrough for me, because you are in the breakthrough business. When people come to you, they're stuck and they're looking to break through, right? So I knew in myself that I wanted to break through, but we didn't have life coaches in those days. I'm talking about 1976. There wasn't any life. Maybe Anthony Robbins had just started out. I don't know, but I didn't know about him. All I knew is I felt stuck. And even though I had these 3 shops and etc. And so I eventually learned I did learn to meditate. Within 6 months of learning to meditate, these shops materialized. I thought they'd make me happy. They actually didn't, partly because I'm not a good business person. Right? And so this is one of the reasons why I'm doing this little dance with you about how we can put the ideas that you have to validate businesses, to increase their turnover, to make them more profit, to make the people who work there feel better about themselves, because money is the oil of life. And if you've got, if you are lubricated in that way, you is in an easier position to fulfill your desires and have a smoother life, more fluidity, more creativity, etc. So anyway, that's how I started. I started TM, and that was the results of it. And the other side of it was also the relationship got better. So the relationship getting better was I tell this story when I do introductory talks. So anyway, that's how I started. And where I am now is I've become a teacher of TM. So we'll go back to you now.
The ethos of Action Coach is very simple. Action Coach believes, and we all believe that are part of the Action Coach community, that there should be world abundance through business re-education. And what we mean by that is that the education that's out there for businesses is very minimal. And when you start a business like you did when you started up your hair salons, you might have been a really, really good hairdresser, but what did you know about business? And where could you turn to actually get an education about running a successful business? And so that's where we want to come in, and we want to get back to the business owners and say, perhaps we need to look at you and re-educate you about your beliefs and about the things you do in business that you think are creating success, but on the other hand, you don't really experience that success. So that's where we want to create a world abundance through business re-education.
Right. Okay. And you did tell me once that if somebody came to you and you couldn't have the answer immediately to their particular issues, you said to me, there's 1,200 other coaches that would back me up. And I found that very interesting.
Well, absolutely, because one thing that what drew me to the brand of Action Coach was that they're the world leader in business coaching. And that's down to Brad Sugars when he started the company, I think about now 26 years ago in Brisbane in Australia. And so he spread that across all continents. And so far, I think we have anywhere between 1,200 and 1,300 coaches worldwide, might be more by now. And so that's a massive community of intellect out there. So if I come across something I don't understand or I don't have the answer for, I get back into the community and ask that question to all my colleagues. And they will have an answer. Somebody will have an answer to whatever I'm raising there. And it's such a brilliant opportunity to use that massive intellect, that combined knowledge pool, and just tap into it and say, well, what do you think, guys? And they come back with an answer. It's brilliant. It works absolutely brilliant.
So, so yes, that you've got a support system. Absolutely. That you can fall back on. Yeah. Okay. Well, see, I don't have that so much, but with the Maharishi Foundation, I have got there are over 300 teachers of TM in the UK today, and we've all got that to fall back on and share certain issues that we might have, the people we teach.
Can I just say one more thing about the support system, which I find is really interesting and really
Yeah.
important? In the UK, we have now over 200 coaches,
Mm-hmm.
and our support system is I think it's brilliant. And the reason for that is because we have, for example, during the crisis, we have daily webinars where daily we get together and we talk about the challenges of the crisis, of particular challenges that our clients face and how we can help them, how we can motivate us, how we can stay on track, and how we can still be of help to the community of business owners out there.
Right.
And our franchisor tries everything to support us in our aspirations and in everything we're trying to achieve. And I've never experienced that level of support. You know, when I had businesses before, I was always on my own. I had to find my own answers. It was a really, really lonely world. And I could nobody, you know, could go nowhere to ask for help. I didn't know about business coaching, you know, when I first started off in business. And so where do you go when you've got all these questions? And, you know, since I've been an action coach, this community is really, really powerful.
Okay, that's powerful. That is,
Yeah.
And it's very reassuring for anybody that comes to you, of course.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we're always on a steady learning curve. I don't have all the answers. But what I do have is I can go back and ask the questions that give me the answers.
But when I talk to people about you, I do often also say, which I think is quite potent, they do listen to this, that you actually in most cases can offer a guarantee.
We do. We offer in all cases, we offer a 6 months money back guarantee.
Wow.
And what that means is that, you know, people don't hire me because they want to have nice conversation. They want to hire me to get results. And the results are usually monetary. So they want to see more revenue. They want to see higher profits. They want to see an improvement in the business. And once we put the stake in the ground and we say, so within 6 months or in a year's time, what is it you want to see improved in your business? And they give me their goal, and we put that in, and so we're working towards that goal. And and so far I've never had to pay out this insurance or this guarantee, because we make it happen.
That's very good. And one thing that springs into my mind on that point that you're just making is that, and I can resonate with this. You were on a training program, I think yesterday morning. And the issues were about being passive creative or actually motivational creative. You know, actually doing and not doing, thinking about doing and actually doing. Would you like to expand on that a little bit?
Well, it was a morning webinar about mindset.
Yeah.
And we have one slide that we use over and over again, and it's a slide called above and below the point of power. And when you are below the point of power, you have three different kind of attributes that you usually live your life by. And you usually find blame for not doing stuff or blaming other people. You find excuses of why you didn't do things or don't want to do stuff. And you find denial, that, you know, you're denying the reality and you're just not facing what actually is happening. And so therefore you become a victim. And you take kind of a passive mindset of kind of sitting back and thinking, you know, the world owes me something and I'm waiting for them to give it to me. And what happens is you don't achieve any success in life, because obviously you're always waiting for something to happen to you. And so we always ask our clients to look at it from the other perspective, which is above the point of power, whereby you live a life that is full of, you know, you're taking ownership of your life. You are taking accountability for your actions, and you become responsible. You take responsibility for everything that you have done and that you will be doing in the future. And
sorry to interrupt, but just very quickly, because, you know, we've only got like an hour, but this is such an important point. I would miss it if I didn't interrupt you. I apologize for interrupting your flow. Right. But how would you actually, the first thing you would do to stop to negate this passivity? Do you give them a carrot? Do you give them a stick, or do you are they their own stick? You know, what is
Well,
the formula?
we are coaches. We don't, the solutions is something you need to find within yourself. You
Very
need
good.
to realize where you're going wrong, and you need to realize what is it you want to change in your life.
Right.
I'm not, a coach is not somebody where you go to the gym and you want to get fit and you ask them to lift the weights for you, or go into the cross trainer for you. You have to do that yourself, because inside you find the motivation for change. Why do I want to get out of the situation, and why do I want to change my life for a better life? And this is what you need to find. And I, as a coach, help you find this motivation and help you find the reason why you want to change.
Okay, so that the first thing is the catalyst is they've actually come to you in the first place. Then really, although you tell me you're not a life coach, what you're saying is you've got to dig a little bit around and find out about that person's psyche,
Well,
correct?
absolutely. But you
Yeah,
need to.
so you are a bit of a life coach as well then, as well as a business
Well,
coach.
life coach, yes and no, because as a coach, in general, you're always working, first of all, on the mindset of the person that's in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And the mindset, once we shift the mindset, so taking them from a passive, so below the point of power, to one that's above the point of power, where they take ownership, where they become accountable and responsible, and therefore then have an active part in their life, and they reach out and they become victors. They start seeing things happening in their life. That's a mindset issue. And once they start adopting that mindset, they see things happening in their business as an ultimate result of their mind.
Right. So, but the carrot and the stick thing is they've got to have the discipline to do what you've asked them to do.
Without the
Not just go
commitment.
away from you and say, well, I've got the Action Coach T-shirt, which people do sometimes with
You can't.
TM.
Yeah, no,
No,
you can't just go back and drink a cup of tea and wait for things to happen. There's a
no.
reason why we call it action coach and not sit around and drink a cup of tea coach.
Mm-hmm.
The emphasis, if you want the results, you need to take action.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to take action every single day for the rest of your life if you want to see things happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very good.